Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be building a large family home, which I guess you could class it as a mansion. I mean, I personally would. It seems big enough to be one, but some people like insane houses, so I guess this build's not for you. But if you want like a family home that you won't necessarily have to move from once you've bought it, and you won't have to worry about having any more kids, your Sims having more kids, I should say, then yeah, this is perfect. It's going to have 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 3 reception rooms, a kitchen, and like a decorative utility slash coat room thing. So yeah. Oh, by the way, this is just me working out or trying to make sure that the galleried landing does work with the fascia being kept the way it is, because for some reason the room system in The Sims 4 doesn't recognise that having a drop down landing is quite important to some people, and yeah, but there is a way around it. So this is the master bedroom, which is in the roof, which I know some people aren't going to be too fond of because some people associate that with kids and stuff, but I quite like the idea of having the master bedroom on its own level, at the top of the house, you know, and I do have a few ideas of how to redo this a different way, which will be in a different video. So yeah, and yeah, I did a half wall here because I think it heightens the roof a bit to cover up the dormers' roofs themselves. And it looks better than using like a little wrought iron thing, which is what I used to do in The Sims 3, but it doesn't look right in The Sims 4, unfortunately. So that's the back patio, and then this part's going to be like the front porch, but not a porch in the way that you might think. Like when I think of a porch, I think of that little thing that people put outside their front doors to take their shoes off. I think some people know what I'm on about. But this is more of a decorative one that just literally adds a little bit of depth to the front of the house and gives it the grandeur that it needs, I think, on a street like this, which is another reason why I chose this street, because the street lamps have a French feel to them, and yeah, I think those kind of lights look really good on this specific style of house, which, by the way, I wasn't trying to be like pretentious about by calling it like an executive house. It's just genuinely what these house styles are called, or variations. It's a variation of an executive house, I should say. And they're extremely popular in the UK. So, well, they're extremely popular for people who've got a lot of money in the UK. And yeah, I've always liked them personally, and I think they're great. Like for families, like they have so much usable space. The flow of the floor plan works really, really well. They're great for entertaining when you have like parties and stuff. So yeah, I really don't know what I was trying to achieve with this wall. I wanted like a neutral stone thing going on where I could have like plants like on it because I was gonna have a pool below it, and it didn't work out. So, and I think it's for the best because I did change up the idea I had for the garden to like a simple, clean cut, you know, low maintenance, I suppose, even though maintenance for the gardens hasn't been a thing since The Sims 2. Um, yeah, so I just dressed up the corners a little bit to make it seem a little bit more natural, like it's been here for a while rather than just being built, because you can't really, it's meant to be a traditional house, it's meant to be a bit dated. So yeah, I did like a Y shape with the patio, with the pathway, sorry, and I really like it. I think it turned out great. And I wanted a pool that kind of was big enough to warrant even being there, but yeah, without, you know, taking up too much of the grass, because I really thought it was important to have the grass on show, because the last time I tried to build this house, it was like, oh, okay, the garden's basically a concrete jungle. Cool. And I don't think you want to spend 170,000 simoleons on a house to not have much of a garden. So yeah. And by the way, I love the stone surrounds for the pools. I think they look so much better. I'm well aware that not the colours don't match everything perfectly, but this is The Sims 4, and I think everyone's just gotten used to that by now, that, you know, it's quirky, it looks cute, I suppose. Just think of it that way, as opposed to, like, it doesn't match! Which is what I did for the whole first year of this game being out, but that's besides the point. I really did need to put something here. I was going to leave it plain, but I thought, no, like, that's just so boring. The garden's so underdressed. But so I just put shrubs. Obviously, I do finish the garden, but that's towards the end of the video. I thought I'd get most of the, what's the word? landscaping out the way first, just because it is one of the most tedious things on The Sims 4, on The Sims in general, I should say. And it's probably the least boring, like the least interesting part for a reviewer, so I'm very sorry. But yeah, it's nearly over, so don't worry. And I wasn't sure if I'd made the right choice, because in a minute I'm going to put like flower beds. Yeah, just that. I think it filled it out, so it does look good, but I'm not sure. At least it matches, but you can take it out if you don't like it and just put dirt there. But I thought it would look a bit too plain. I don't know. So yeah, just finishing off the front path here. I'm still annoyed that I can't use floor tiles, but I don't know why, because you can do that in real life, which is what The Sims is based on, but whatever. So now the windows, which I chose like the black because originally with the exterior paint of the house, I wanted the stones on the corners to be like a sandstone, but that didn't happen. So I'm using the black windows to bring in the colours of the roof with the colours of the windows to also match the stones. So there's a reason why there's black there. It's not just a random colour thrown in, which does work sometimes, but very rarely on exteriors unless you're going for that kind of a house. Just putting in the doors. I'm really, really OCD when it comes to how doors open. Like if they don't open correctly into the room, it just looks wrong. So yeah, that's why I've spent so long trying to freaking flip them around. Just adding the windows to the dormers, which I'm well aware aren't the navy blue, they are actually black, but as I said, it's The Sims. The kitchen, which is honestly my favourite room in the house, bar the 2 back bedrooms. I think you're really going to like it. It's, instead of doing like the whole, same counters and same cabinets, I decided to do what seems to be a massive trend in the UK anyway, which is like, you mix and match, like you do a different colour for your counters and you do a different colour for your cabinets. And I've only been to one house that does have this, but I've seen multiple like kitchen places do it all the time in their showrooms. It looks really nice. So I went for like an oak, a white, a brushed steel for appliances, and then like a copper, I want to say. You could call it rose gold, but I prefer saying copper just because it has more of a hue of a copper colour than a rose gold. So yeah, I didn't put a dishwasher in now, and I don't know why. So sorry, but yeah. Ooh, I love the fact it was so easy to match. Actually, that's why I chose the copper personally, just because all the what are they called? Like the misc objects that you put in, like the clutter ones, they all came in like a copper color. So yeah, it was relatively easy to do. Just putting in a few shrubs, and not shrubs, they're plants because they're inside. Great. The calendar, because it is the kitchen, which is like where everyone comes to check everything. Like my mum has a calendar with everything written on, even though everyone's got iPhones now, so I don't know why she still does. Moving on to the informal living room. It's more so the one that you'd spend your nights watching TV in, as opposed to like entertaining and having a conversation. Like, this is the TV room. Please don't judge me for that awful panelled idea I had. It didn't work, so I replaced it. Putting in the TV, obviously. Don't pick that bunny. There we go. This next part's quite interesting. I really spent a long time just like figuring out why they didn't match. I was like, that's the same swab. That is the same swab. Not only have you taken away my color wheel, you've ruined the swab, like the swatch system. So like, what else? But it does work. It's just the lighting difference. Lighting's a powerful thing in real life and The Sims, apparently. But yes. So just finishing it off now. You'll see why I put that green plant there, because of the kitting issue I had. I don't really like the mirror I did put because it's just an off-white colour. There's gold there's a gold still in it and it bugs me. Whatevs. So yeah, the curtains you'll see. Yeah, see, the green's there, but the green's in the plant and that justifies it enough for me. Like, I think it looks nice. Well, as nice as it possibly could make it look. Now on to the formal living room, which I'm not a fan of the colours that I necessarily use because I don't really like the colours, but I thought the wallpaper looked great. I didn't want to use a blue again. I wanted to use a different colour in here, so like that's why I went for it. I'm well aware that that rug is kind of modern, but it was the only one that fit. It's like a long, I love this style of a living room though. It's like the whole width of the house. You can have a central part where you would communicate and entertain. Then you can have you have two sides then, one which goes at the back, one which overviews the front. And I chose like a bookcase and an easel kind of thing for here. And then on the other side, I do a grand piano because this seems like the kind of house that they'd obviously have a grand piano in the formal lounge and their children would obviously learn to play on it. I never had that, I had a keyboard. Jokes. Still love you, ma'am. But yeah, so I actually really like how it turned out in the end, even though it's not my colour. It still bugs me. It's quite a yellow and I wanted more of a beige or a cream like the sofas, but hopefully it's distracting enough and there's so much going on that you don't even notice it. I chose I didn't do the long curtains on that one just because there's no point, you won't see it. So I thought the short ones looked better. And then, you know, just pictures and the usual, yeah, little bit of a shrub in the corner. Stop saying shrub, you're inside. Yes. Downstairs toilet, which by the way, I do kind of copy and paste upstairs as the girls' toilet. And by the way, I'm being very stereotypical in this video of like, girls like pink, blues like, you know, boys like blue, but, you know, it doesn't mean to say that if you have a sim child who's a girl and their favourite colour is blue, she can't choose the blue bedroom and the blue toilet, you know? Open your minds, people. Now onto the dining room, which is it was kind of hard to be honest with you. It's like got like the bay part of it, like the bay window, the bay door, whatever you want to call it. Kind of made me struggle, but just because I tried to centralize it and, you know, half the walls like bent in at one side, so it was like, how am I going to do that? But I worked around it quite well, I think, and ignore that table, it is going to go. I'm pretty sure it's going to go. Yes, I was right. I'm not, So I went for just like it's kind of like a farmhouse, like I don't know why I did that, but like, I wanted something, I didn't want to do like, I felt like I was doing more of the same thing all the time, and I like to change it up in certain rooms. I say that and there'll be some houses where I'm like, no, I need to do the same thing all the way through. But yeah, sometimes you've got like this like read-in nook off of it, because the dining room isn't usually rarely used these days because most people just eat in front of the TV, or they're used at Christmas and stuff, so, or whatever holidays you do celebrate. So yeah, that tree's bugging me and I can't believe I didn't notice it when I was actually building. I guess I was just so focused on what the hell am I going to put on this cabinet thing to fill it out, and I didn't really fill it out too well. I move you, I think. No, I don't. Do I? I must do. Yes, I do. Haha, I was right. So yeah, I just tried to fill it out with a few bits but I do not know what I was thinking with that. I was like, this is a formal dining room. Why would you have loose mail? So yeah, I just kind of left it as that. And when you put the curtains in, it did dress it up quite a bit, and the rug goes down, and it's like, boom, doesn't feel so empty anymore. So I'm quite happy with it. Oh, I love this room. This is kind of like a teenage boy, I suppose. It's like very stereotypical, by the way. That's why I went for like a grey wood look. Because I love grey, it's so big now as well. I use those candles. Because I really do like I use that bookcase because it goes really well with the bed frame, I thought. Obviously, I think any teenager needs like a computer of some form in their room. And then that's the benefit with the two back bedrooms, is while they don't have the fitted wardrobes of the front two, they do have like an extra part, which is like a dressing room, which I really like the look of. It just worked out really well, and I used to build this kind of thing in The Sims 3 and it didn't work out this well because obviously, I love that wardrobe one there. Like I love it's a different kind of shape to the usual dresser. I'm just doing the typical, oh, I love what I did here, which was put a circle around that one because it kind of looks like that's whoever's going to live here's favourite whatever character they're going to be. Just a little bit of fun. And I can't believe I didn't notice that those were the same thing. This is how fried my brain was past this point. I was like, oh my god, trying to get everything to match, and it just doesn't. So I think at a certain point you have to accept that they're not going to match and be happy with what you have. But yes, And I didn't want to do a big rug because it didn't really fit in the room too much. So I did 2 little ones, and I kind of do the same thing with the other one. Oh, and this is just another copy and paste of the bathrooms, but one's blue and one's pink. How original. But they do still look nice, I think. They're great size. They're Jack and Jill, so like, 2 bedrooms will share 1 bathroom, but that means that every bedroom in this house has an ensuite, which is kind of like a goal for me, I suppose, even though it's just me. So yeah, I'm really happy with this kit. The sink came with like a blue kind of colour, which I'm quite chuffed with. So yeah, and don't expect any different with the pink one. It's more or less the same thing, but just a variation. I prefer the pink one just because it looks a bit more, it fits in more with the house, I think, than the blue, but I wanted to do it because I needed some variation in bathroom colours. And surprise, surprise, I actually do a different bathroom colour in the master bedroom ensuite as well. So there is some variation in the build, but quite a lot of cloning going on. Oh well. I know that doesn't match, but it did look good as far as those. Oh, my favourite, well, I've always wanted to use those lights in some form, well, not that one, the other ones, but I could never figure out where to put them. Like, they didn't look right above beds, they didn't look right above baths. I couldn't really, because the colour swatches that were available for it, I was like, there's no colour like that in here, and I can't introduce it because it's just too bold. But it looks really, really, really good in the kids' room. And I'm, like, proper chuffed because the colours match. Like, I'm so happy. But, and I love doing kids' rooms. I honestly think they're, like, the toddlers anyway, are, like, some of the funnest things to do because it's not all, like, as an adult, everyone's really like, oh, does it match? Does it look clean? Does it look like this? Whereas the kids, like, I want all my posters on the wall. I want this colour there, this colour here, and it looks really lived in. And, yeah, that's why I like doing them, to be honest with you. They're more fun, they're more free, you can be messy, and things don't have to look perfect. And if anything, that makes them look better, which is never happens if you're trying to do like a formal living room or, an ultra modern kitchen, outflows into the garden. Like, it's hard. But yeah, I still don't know if that's going to actually work. I hope so, because The Sims 4 is actually really good when it comes to like pathfinding. They're not dumb as dumb as The Sims 3, where like they just stand there and scream at wherever you're like were positioned and be like, I can't get there. It's like, well, in The Sims 4 they can now. They're quite smart. So thank you, EA, for doing that right. Obviously just more little pictures and themes crap. It's not meant to be like this side of boys and this side of girls, by the way. I actually like the idea that purple and green seem to go quite nice. Well, I don't know if they go nicely, but I like the way they look together in a kid's room. Colourful. Now this would be like, I guess, like a teen girl's room, even though I really don't think any teen girl would pick like, the gothic style. They are gothic style, the candles, like that's a word for it, but I don't want to say, like a candelabra, is that it? I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure those are the right bed size. Well, they look fine to me anyway. So obviously I forgot the curtains in the kids' room, and I'm well aware that the last one I have used downstairs, but it matched, and it looks nice. So, yeah. Obviously back to the front bedroom, one of the front bedrooms. Obviously, because it's going to be used, and it's going to be another teenager, they need a computer, and a desk to do homework, although this one's going to be a bit neater because girls tend to be neater than boys. On average, not as a whole. So yeah, just obviously more posters, a pink tree. I know it's quite childish, but I didn't think it was as childish as the unicorn, and the bunnies with the carrot is cute, so I don't think that's too childish. Just basic white things. I couldn't really find a good picture to put up. Like, everything was like hot pink, and I was like, this is a baby pink room with white. Like, come on. So I just did the butterfly pictures and, like the dual version of it, and just a pink rug, a lovely mirror, and I think that finished it off. I mean, you can't really do too much with the front bedrooms because they're not actually that big, but it's still important to fill space enough to, make it look like a room that should be there and not an unnecessary one. And this is the guest room. It's not going to be fully like decorated in the sense that with a person in mind, you know, who would use this day in, day out. But it is, you know, I think every house or every person's parents' house anyway has like a guest room which isn't really used unless, you know, one of your family members gets too drunk on like a Saturday or something and like has to pass out there. So that's kind of like what this is. Just fairly plain. There's nothing. There's no computer. There's nothing. It's just your standard room, you know, like a hotel almost. Well, I think it's nice to think of it. And I'm well aware that the bed doesn't match fully, but it's literally just the duvet cover, you know, and that's fine. And now I'm up into the master bedroom, which I did struggle with just because there's 6 dormers and I know 2 of them aren't in the master bedroom. One's for the hallway and one is for the bathroom, but you know, they're quite hard. Like 2 of them were fine, obviously, because that's where like the dressing rooms of like the parents would be. You know, each side has got one dressing room, so the dormer would be like the part with the chair and the light and the mirror where you would try things on and look and see if they look nice. And then I figured out how to use each and every one though, thankfully, but it did sort of fry my brain once again and trying to find things that matched. So yeah, and I got rid of the feature wall with the wallpaper because I thought like, no, I'm trying to go for a modern thing. It was the wrong kind of blue and it didn't really match. So yes, and I obviously had to go for this bed purely because I couldn't let the guest bedroom have a better bedroom than the master suite. So yeah. What did I put down here? Oh, I put like a bookcase, I think it was. Am I correct? Yes, it was. Haha. So yeah, but then I did like a. Oh, I chose that one, did I? Oh, okay. I did like a study kind of thing in the central one, just in case, you know. I think there was no reason not to include it personally. Like this house doesn't specifically have a study room. I mean, you could do the guest room as a study if you wanted to because it's not used. Or it won't be by most people, I don't think, because I think having a 5-sim family is quite difficult. But yeah, so as you can see here, by what I meant by like doing it as like a dressing nook in a way, like you know, you have the typical. Because I couldn't do a walk-in wardrobe because it is in the roof, but I wanted them to have like a his and his or whatever, you know, going on in everything. I kind of did it in the. Oh, see, it was the wrong blue, but I couldn't force. I thought I had to have it because I was like, "They're the only light that's going to look right," and I changed that to a white because it was once again the wrong blue. 2 little circular rugs in a white just to add some depth to the floor. And then this is the master ensuite, which I chose a black for. I'm not quite sure why, but I really like how it turned out. It's not too much or anything, but you know, you can tell it's a master bathroom, I think, by the dual sinks. I went kind of traditional with it, you know, with the like clawfoot bath, which isn't in there yet, but it will be. The toilet's off down the bottom. It's, you know, it's nice. I like it. I really do. I don't know why I didn't put a hamper or whatever you call it in the other bathrooms, but that's because they're kids' bathrooms and kids rarely actually put their clothes where they're meant to be washed. So, and I'm a culprit of that myself. So, yes. And now moving on to the hallway, which I saved to last because it just seemed like the least exciting room possible. Like it is just a room used to get to other rooms. But don't get me wrong, I love an entrance hallway. And that's kind of what I wanted to have in this house. I thought it would be weird to have a house of the price that it is and the size that it is and not have some kind of wow factor when you walk through the front door. And then obviously the typical, you know, chests with the artwork above to give an impression to any person that comes by your house, because if you've worked this hard, you want people to say wow when they come in. I wanted a chaise here, but unfortunately we don't have a chaise in The Sims, I don't think, anyway. But I think that looks more than fine. I did one underneath the stairs too, because, you know, why not? It's fairly common to put furniture under stairs, because I've never really taken away the wall that comes when you place a staircase underneath them, but I did on this house purely because it opened up the hallway so much more, and you can see the kitchen door practically as soon as you walk around the staircase. It just looks a lot more real, I suppose, than the alternative, which would be having a wall there, which would have to be painted and it would take up more room. So yeah, this is the like utility closet I was talking about. It's not really a closet because obviously you don't have those. It's just I really wanted to use the what is it called? I'm not really sure. The fire thing, that thing on the wall. Yeah, just because I'm never really sure what it does. Like honestly, I'm thinking it's got something to do with like all of a sudden your ceiling has like water that comes out. I'm hoping, but we'll find out. So yeah, that's in there. I obviously, oh my god, I tried so hard to have like some form of a feature, but there was a blue in it, and I was like, why have you put a blue in something that you're claiming is white and grey? Like, why? It's rude. I could have banked my whole build on that one wallpaper and it would have collapsed. And I really struggled here because I was like, I've already filled the hallway. Like, I can't just repeat it up here. So I did a guitar and like, you know, like a boot area. Not a boot room because, you know, obviously there's no door. And then just like a seating area outside. Obviously this will never get used probably unless you bypass all the chairs in the master suite to come sit out here as a sim, which sometimes they probably do. Um, Obviously adding a mailbox, and then I think just, yeah, a bin at the back, which is slightly off the patio because no one wants to display their bin too proudly, and then just the usual barbecue and seating area. Oh, and those are the French lights I was on about, you know, like that kind of a feel. So yeah, that's the entire bill, guys, and we shall take a look at some screenshots, which I think it looks really well, personally. Yeah. It is on the gallery, by the way, under my name, which is BWD17, which is my initials, and then the age when I have an Origin account. Please do not laugh. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like if you did. Please subscribe. And I will be putting out probably another video on this specific build, but it will be like a twist on it. Like it's fairly traditional now, but I want to bring in like a modern living space. I'm going to completely redo the master bedroom and the roof, and yeah, it'll be a nice surprise. I don't think anyone else has done this kind of, and it will be a recurring theme on the certain builds that I do that I can officially do this with. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, that's it. Have a great day, week, year, life. Who knows? Bye.